The property and casualty (P&C) insurance industry is constantly evolving, and one of the biggest forces shaping its future is regulation. From climate change and natural catastrophes to litigation trends and emerging risks, regulators are stepping in to address growing challenges. But how do regulations shape the industry, and what impact will new policies have on insurers, businesses, and policyholders? Let's break it down. One of the biggest regulatory challenges today is climate change and natural catastrophe risk. The increasing frequency and severity of hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and other disasters are making it harder for insurers to price coverage accurately and remain profitable in high-risk areas. In response, regulators are considering new disaster resilience requirements, stricter capital reserves for insurers, and updated risk models that reflect changing weather patterns. In states like California and Florida, where insurers are reducing their presence or raising rates, regulators face tough decisions. They need to ensure policyholders still have access to coverage, but they also have to balance the financial stability of insurers who may otherwise leave the market entirely. Some states are turning to public-private partnerships and catastrophe funds to help keep coverage available while spreading risk across a larger pool. Another growing area of regulation is litigation and social inflation. In some parts of the U.S., large jury verdicts, known as nuclear verdicts, are driving up claims costs for auto, liability, and commercial insurance. Some regulators are now considering tort reform, limits on legal fees, and better fraud detection measures to help control rising litigation expenses that ultimately impact policyholders through higher premiums. Emerging risks like cybersecurity, AI-driven underwriting, and data privacy are also gaining regulatory attention. As insurers collect more telematics data, IoT sensor information, and AI-generated risk assessments, regulators are focusing on consumer protection, bias in AI models, and how insurers use personal data. Expect to see stricter rules around data privacy, transparency in AI-driven decisions, and cybersecurity compliance for insurers handling sensitive customer information. So, how do regulators decide which issues to prioritize? The process of regulatory reform often involves a mix of industry lobbying, public policy concerns, and economic impact studies. Regulators must balance three key trade-offs: protecting policyholders, ensuring a stable and competitive insurance market, and keeping compliance costs reasonable for insurers. If regulations are too strict, insurers may struggle to operate profitably, leading to reduced availability of coverage. If they're too relaxed, consumers may face unfair pricing or inadequate protections. One example of this balance is the push for transparency in pricing. Regulators want to ensure policyholders understand why their premiums are rising, but insurers argue that some pricing models are proprietary, and disclosing too much could lead to competitive disadvantages. Looking ahead, the regulatory landscape will continue evolving as new risks emerge and markets shift. Expect to see more proactive regulation around climate resilience, continued discussions around litigation reform, and evolving compliance frameworks for AI and digital insurance models. For those interested in insurance careers, regulation presents exciting opportunities in compliance, legal analysis, risk management, and public policy. As insurers and regulators work together to shape the industry's future, professionals with expertise in data analytics, environmental science, cybersecurity, and legal affairs will be in high demand. Regulation is a constant balancing act, but when done right, it creates a more resilient insurance industry that can support both insurers and policyholders through economic, technological, and environmental changes. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights into the evolving world of insurance. See you next time!